if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten, right? Now, there's something so obvious about that, right? If you keep doing the same thing over and over again, you're going to get what you've always gotten. But it's not enough just to sit here and quote things and all that stuff. Like, we want to know, okay, well, what else am I supposed to do? So those are the things we're going to talk about today. Maybe you're stuck in certain areas, and you don't really know what to do. So you might be excited, but you don't really know what to do. Okay, I'm going to talk about also managing your day and managing your time efficiently, because some of you might be in a position where you have young kids, or maybe you still have a full-time or part-time job. I get it. I'm at work right now. I'm in a conference room in my office right now. So I totally get it. I'm at work. I've always worked. I'm a Crown Diamond in Young Living. I have always had another career. I still have another career. Okay. And I tell you this because, listen, if you go all into Young Living, you're probably going to grow like a billion times faster than I grew. Okay. Hands down. But I love my career. I was never looking to get out of it. And even with that, I was still able to grow. I was still able to become Diamond and then Crown Diamond and still grow from there. So I'm saying, like, don't knock yourselves out of the game, right? You could still do it, but you have to do it efficiently. And that's what I do. And I honestly think you should do it efficiently anyway, because you're trying to build out this, this life, and you talk about this life. And if everything becomes about work 24/7, then what are you really doing? What are you really doing? So I'm really like efficient in what I do. I'm not one of those fly-by-night people, and that works for some people. That's completely fine. I'm not talking to you all. I'm talking to the other ones, okay? The ones who are trying to figure out how to manage it all and still have a life. That's what I do. Okay, so let's start with managing the day. I'm going to go very briefly through what my day typically kind of looks like, and my week kind of looks like, okay? And then we'll break it down further from there. So I'm up every morning, and don't listen. I get up early, okay? But I'm up every morning between like 4:30, sometimes 5 o'clock. I'm at the gym by 5:30 because it's important to me. That's why. It's important for me to exercise. It's important for me to get movement. I believe you need to work with food, movement, mindset, community, and essential oils. And then you got like a kick butt life. I was going to say something else. I got to be careful, So food, movement, mindset, community, and a good dose of oils, right? So that's what my whole life looks like and how I build out my success. I believe fulfilled people live more passionate lives. So everything I do in my life and what I teach in there is about how to be more fulfilled in your life. So for me, going to the gym, getting some sort of exercise and movement, super important. Okay, then I come back, I get my kids ready for school, on the bus, all that stuff, yada, yada, jump on the train. I commute to Manhattan every day. I have an office right in Midtown. I absolutely love it. And that's my other job per se. That's what I do, right? And I spend the day here, and I get home like, I don't know, 5:45, and then sometimes I have evening calls after I have, dinner and time with my kids and put them to sleep or whatever. Sometimes I have an evening call. Sometimes I don't. On the weekends, from Friday night to Sunday morning, usually, or Sunday, late morning, I am totally off everything. I'm with my family. I'm off social media. I do no work at all. And I say all this and give you that kind of structure because I think things like this are important. I think family time is important. I think rest days are like ridiculously important. So when I schedule it like that, and I know that I can take that time off, then I'm so passionate about what I do that you have to like shut me off. Like I have to schedule my time off, or I would just keep on working. So doing that also then refreshes me, it revitalizes me, it gets me more excited to come back in, start working usually around Sunday afternoon to Friday morning again. And then I'm able to kick out another week of what I want to do and what I'm passionate about. Okay. That brings me to passion. Now, I know some of you get focused, or maybe you're trained or whatever. Okay, what are your IPAs for today? What are your things you're going to do? Income producing activity. Listen to me on this, okay? If you know what you're doing, you're so passionate and clear about why you're doing it. Nobody's got to tell you to go out and do something, okay? So get clear about what you're passionate about. And you know what you're passionate about. When you sit there and say, well, I'm not really sure, because the kid in you knows. And you need to tap back into that again, because that's a super important place to get into, where your dreams went wild. You could be anything you want to be. You could do whatever you want to do. Tap into that energy again. Get into that passion. For me, helping people, this like altruistic lifestyle, my whole career was around it. I'm ridiculously passionate about holistic living and essential oils, of course, and all, and incorporating that in everything I do, that you can't shut me up. I want to talk about it. I don't need anybody to tell me like today you need to do this. Like, what are you kidding me? I'm going to tell everyone because I want to, because I'm passionate about it. But that brings me back to your company message. I don't vomit on everyone, because you start vomiting on people, nobody's listening anymore, right? I don't vomit on people. I want them to get to the place where when we start having the conversation about anything, that they are like, yes, this is what I want. And I want that conversation to quickly flip around to where they're talking to me about what their dreams are, what their desires are. Okay. That's what I want. So when they say, what do you do? And I say, well, I believe fulfilled people live more passionate lives. That's what I say, right? You heard me say it to you. This is what I believe. I believe fulfilled people live more passionate lives. So everything I do revolves around that, including Young Living, including my other career. It all revolves around that. Get clear about your company message. Like, why do you even got to tell anyone anything? Why do people care? Why do you care? Put it out there in that way, you become an attraction point for those types of people. Then they come to you, okay? They come to you, and at that point, they can say, well, how do you do that? For me, I tell them I do it through food, movement, mindset, community, and a good dose of essential oils. That's it. I start to introduce them into, essential oils. Here, try this. So like, for you guys right now, grab your highest potential. If you don't have highest potential, go buy it, okay? Because you're in business. You're in business. Here's your 3 things, okay? Abundance, motivation, highest potential. Go get it. Go buy it. Merry Christmas. Buy yourself a gift, okay? Take some highest potential, put it on your connection to spirit. Just take it all in. I put oils on before I do anything. Before I got on here, I put oils on. I'm wearing them all the time. I'm using them all the time. Why? Here, how about this? Abundance. Gary created abundance to get you into the vibration of abundance. This is literally the vibration. I had something to do with the pharaohs during the time of whatever. I'm a history moron, but whatever that time is. And this is what they used, these oils, this collection of oils. And now that's the vibration of it, right? Because they were the wealthy people at the time. So get in the vibration of it, okay? Now, if you're sticking your nose in a book every day and saying, I'll do the next thing when I get like prepared for it, when I have the personal development for it, when I have the whatever, I don't know, all the things that we make up to ourselves, stop it. Get in action. If you're not in action, you're not in business. You're in theory. You're in fantasy. I don't know. You have to get in action. You have to start doing things and failing forward. The best thing you could do is go out there, fall on your face, gather information, and do it better next time. That's what you need to be doing. Okay, so if you're sitting there contemplating all the ways that you're going to do stuff, you're not in business, you're not doing anything. Okay, get out there and start doing things, start talking to people, start doing Facebook Live, start posting on social media. And I don't mean just everything about oils. I mean the things that are important to you, whatever your theme is, being fulfilled. You'll see, if you go on my social media, you'll see the last week or so, I'm building a food forest. So everything's around food foresting and how we're preparing our land and what we're doing. They want to see that you have a life because that's fulfilling. That's what's fulfilling, right? When I travel, I post things about me traveling. I post things sometimes in Manhattan. A lot of people have never been to Manhattan, so it's like a big deal for them. And so I post things, and it's Christmas time here, so I post the window. I just try to engage with my community that's attracted to this kind of message, that wants to live a more fulfilled, passionate life. That's my community. That's my demographic per se, right? So that's what I do. Okay. You got to get into action. You got to work on your theme. Now, going into action. This is our busiest time of year. Busiest time of year for retail, I'm talking about. And technically you're in business and you're retail, right? We sell oils, we sell, lifestyle products. We have a lot here. You're in retail. Do not ever say, well, I'm going to get to it after the holidays. What are you talking about? What store closed? You think that if I went on 34th Street, I'm going to see Macy's close because it's the holidays and everyone's busy, so they're going to close down Macy's? Are you kidding me? They're doing like extra. This is the time for you to be out there. This is the time for you to ask people and say, hey guys, I'm in business. I'd love for you to use my business. You're going to be buying stuff anyway for the holidays. Would you like me to send you a catalog? Text it to them. I'm a big texter. Okay. I text while I'm commuting. I text while whenever I can, I'm able to text with people. If you're not using Project Broadcast, that might be something you want to look into. Certainly be using Oily Tools. I use that all the time, all the time. And you can even text right from Oily Tools if you wanted to. But Project Broadcast is like an easy way to get things out there with your group. So look into Project Broadcast. And when you're putting things again out into the world, when you put things out into the world, just make sure that it comes with a message about them. It's not about you. I mean, we're like living in this crazy time of like narcissism, I think. Like everything's about them. If I see one more selfie or someone like holding their hair up while they're taking a picture, I'm like, what's going on with your hair? Is it falling? Is your earring falling? What is happening here? There's just so much like posturing and posing and like not enough realness. Like, guys, get real. Nobody's believing that. If you want to be believable, you have to be authentic. You have to be exactly who you are. I'm not saying air your grievances and your dirty laundry. Certainly don't do that. But it's okay to be you. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to, show up different parts of your life and things that are important to you and not have everything look totally dialed in and pretty all the time. Okay? It's okay. It's okay. Because your friends, when they see you, like the people that have known you or your neighbors who see you on like the other days, they want to see the real you. They want to know like who you are. They want, you're trying to be like a real person. You're not trying to be this image of something. I tell people all the time, you should not have a social media persona. That's like ridiculous. You should be who you are at all times. One of the greatest compliments I ever get is when people meet me in person. They tell me you're exactly the same in person as when I see you online. Like to me, that is like the greatest compliment ever. It's like, 'cause that's what I want to be. I want to be a real person. I'll tell you something else. I care about people. I was going to, again, I have to be careful with my New Yorkness. I really care about people. I really care about their stories. I really care about what's important to them. And I like listening to people. I like listening to their stories. I like listening to what's important to them. If you could just be a good human being and let kindness be at the forefront of everything you do, I think you're going to see a huge shift. And that's the yellow in me coming out, right? I think you're going to see, a huge shift in everything that you're doing in the way you navigate even your business. There should not be a hardness to your business. There should be a hardness to your life. And I'm not to say things in life or business are not hard. There's difficulties that come along, but there should not be this tense hardness. You should be enjoying yourself and enjoying what you do and what you're bringing to the world. Like I get so excited. Like this morning, I woke up, I was doing food foresting stuff all weekend. I was really tired. I was on the train. I was speaking to like my train buddy, and I was saying how, you know, she goes, "You look tired today." I said, "Yeah, I think I got a case of the Mondays," right? I'm like, I'm just tired. I'm like physically tired, even after like doing so much physical activity this weekend. I said, I didn't even make it to the gym this morning. I just wanted to go back to sleep. And she said, "Why didn't you?" Now, this is the difference between someone who has an employer and someone who, like me, who runs my company. I said, she goes, "Why didn't you?" I said, "Well, why didn't I what? What do you mean?" She goes, "Why don't you just go back to bed?" I'm like, "Are you kidding me? How am I supposed to reach the whole world in the way that I want to?" Like, I'm excited, as tired as I am. I'm excited to come in. I'm excited to talk to you guys. I'm excited to, you know, get get all this out into the world. So like, what do I need to stay home for? For what? What am I going to do at home? Now, let's just say I don't take days off. In fact, I'm taking days off today. I'm only working 2 days this week because I'm going to go on vacation. But my whole thing is like, okay, I could give out another couple of days. I could push this out because I care that much. I have to keep revisiting, not to remind myself, okay? I don't, but I keep revisiting what my purpose is. Why do I do what I do? And my whole mission in life is actually to practice extreme kindness. It is. That's it. Like when somebody asks me about it, like that's what I do. I care about practicing extreme kindness. I care about making a difference in someone else's life. And most of the time, I can make a difference for them just by listening. Just by listening. Most people do not feel heard. There's too much of like this or is this all the time, and there's no like this, there's no like real world anything anymore, and it's nonsensical. It really is. It's just it's borderline stupid. We need to start having conversations, and you could, by the way, have conversations online. You could build an awesome community through social media also. I'm not saying as opposed to social media, I do social media. I'm saying have, speak to people though, have conversations. Don't just look to see how many likes came on your selfie. Like, be real, be in the world. Okay. This is like super important. And if I was going to give you an IPA, income producing activity, be more kind and listen more. Okay, there you go. There's your income producing activity. Be more kind and listen more. Because doing that alone, people will say, you really seem to care. You really seem to care. I signed up a bunch of people last week here in my office, on the same floor. They came to an event that I had done, and I said, "What drew you to what we did?" Because we weren't even talking about oils. And I said, "What drew you to this and want to do this?" And there were several of them, and they were all from different places and companies, and they said, "You were just so real and so willing to share. I just want to be connected to somebody like you." Okay, that's it. I just want to be connected to someone like you. That's what they said. They said, "What do I do? I want it. I want this. I like. It smells great in here. I want it." I said, "Great." I said, "I think you should have the premium starter kit." You know why? Because I think everyone should have the premium starter kit at the very least. Everyone should have the premium starter kit. They said, "Great. Where do I get it from?" I said, "Right here. We could sign you up right now." We sign them up. Okay, we do all that. They said, "Okay, now how do we use it?" I said, "Don't worry, I made a video on it. You could always drop in here. You're going to use it. It's not rocket science." I mean, really, guys, it's not rocket science, right? So I said, "You're going to use it." And they have. And they come in and they visit and we talk and I text them and we do it. And we just keep up communication as humans, not as salespeople, as humans. We do this because I believe in, you know, practicing extreme kindness. And I think we need more of it. And I think more people need to smile, and more people, at least in New York, right? More people need to hear hello. More people need to hear, that they matter and they're not invisible. You know how many people walk through life feeling invisible? Be the person that sees them. That's who I want to be. I want to be the person that sees someone else because I want to be seen. I want to be heard. I want to be valued, not because I took the greatest picture, not because I have like the most perfect hair or whatever, not because I'm a crown diamond. Please don't define me by any of those things. Define me as the human being that I am and the human being that I strive to be. That's my legacy. My legacy is not in what my bank account is. My bank account's my business. And I think it's super important. So don't misunderstand. Okay? But this is where I want to be like a different kind of person in the world. If everyone's moving one direction, I want to move in the other direction because I know there's going to be a need there. There's going to be a void. And there is a void there. Okay, I already went off in somewhere else. Let me go back to my notes. Okay, so next thing, as part of all of this, quit complaining. Now, for anyone who's listened to me before, you've heard me say this over and over again. There is no one who said, "Wow, I was listening to this person complain today and it was really inspiring to me. And I hope I get to spend more time with them." Have you ever heard that before? I haven't heard it. I haven't heard it. That I saw college friends that I haven't seen in like over 20 years. I saw this past weekend at a party. You would think it'd be like, "Oh my God, I get to see, I haven't seen you in so long." Do you know that they started complaining? Like immediately when I saw them, I was like, "Oh, well, I'm glad to hear things are going well in your life. Have a good life." And I walked away. I mean, we were even sitting at the same table, and I'm like, "I'm going to go over there." Because, you know, who in the world wants to be around complainers all the time? You just don't want it. You don't want it. So if you find yourself complaining, stop. It's as simple as that, okay? Again, there's no rocket science here. Stop complaining or catch yourself and apologize. I didn't mean to be complaining. Now, it's one thing if you're venting and you're doing it to a safe person and you're kind of, I call it the unwind. You needed to unwind for a minute and you have a consciousness around that and it's to be able to move you forward. Great. I totally believe in that and I think it's good for mental health and emotional health for sure. Do that. I believe everyone should even have a mentor that they could lean on for those reasons. I'm a huge fan of that. Okay. But if you are just complaining for the sake of complaining because you're a complainer, quit being a complainer because you're not going to be successful. I don't care. Forget young living. You're not going to be successful in anything because nobody wants to be around you. All right. I'm going to tell you the hard truth that nobody's telling you. I'm telling you. That's a fact. Because even if they smile to your face, they're talking about you behind your back. Okay. So stop complaining. Stop. Okay. Be the person that brings joy. Bring the person that brings a smile. You don't even have to feel great inside. It doesn't take a lot to smile. It'll make you feel good. It'll make someone else feel good. One of the best things you could do when you feel like crap, one of the best things you could do is give, be giving, do something for someone else, and even do something for yourself. Maybe you're burnt out because you do so much for everyone else all the time. Go do something that feeds you and feeds your soul. You have to revitalize yourself. That's why the rest time is so important. The word hustle, as much as I'm a hustler and I actually am attracted to the word hustle, the word hustle has really gotten uh, terrible. I don't know how else to say it because people think hustling is busyness and it's missing its mark. Okay. Hustling for the sake of going to a goal that you're so passionate about is one thing. Being busy to appear busy and important is an entirely different animal. Okay. You don't need to be busy and to look important. Okay. Just stop. Just stop. The best thing that you could do and the most attractive thing that you could do is manage yourself, discipline yourself so that you could do whatever you want to do. When people say, how do you have time for this? And how do you have time for that? And you must not enjoy your life and blah, blah, blah. And all the stories that people create about me because they're really stories about themselves, right? So they have to project that stuff on other people. You know, I like to do what I like to do. Exercise is important to me. I'm going to get up and exercise. While I'm exercising, I do my mind work. I listen to like The Science of Getting Rich. I listen to it over and over, and I've listened to it, I don't know, probably 65 times already. I mean, forget it. I love to hear it. I love to be reminded. I love to visualize. I love to daydream. I love to fantasize. I love to do all those things. And then by the time I'm getting to work and doing stuff, by the time I do that, I'm like so focused on that. I'm in action. All I think about is action all day long. That's it, action. And when I find myself with my wheels spinning, then I'm like, okay, it's time to revisit my purpose. Let me go back to my purpose and what I'm doing, what my intention is, okay? And then I'll go back into action. In other words, I don't want to waste time pushing through something that feels like it's just a push through and it's going nowhere. So I make sure that I come back, I recenter, I go for a walk, I get some exercise, movement's super important to me. I go out, I get some fresh air, or whatever it is. I go talk to other people. I kind of change up things, change up the environment, listen to great music. Here's one of my things. In fact, I thought about it while I was walking through Penn Station this morning. So for whatever reason, the subway was like ridiculously cramped. It was like we were like this in there. And so I had to use my mind so I wouldn't get anxiety with it. I had to start thinking about other things, but that's a skill, right? So I needed to start thinking about other things. And what popped into my head was this song from the Greatest Showman, "This Is Me." It's like my anthem. I love it, and I haven't listened to it in so long. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go put that song on. I'm gonna listen to this song because it gives me that feeling of like, just feeling like that fires me up and it makes me feel really great and purposeful. Here's another piece of advice. Stop scrolling social media. Okay? Stop. Just stop. Because you're probably comparing yourself even when you say you're not. I know that I do it sometimes, and it is the worst, most heartbreaking, most soul crushing, thing that you could do. Even when, like, I'm someone who is genuinely happy for other people. Like, I love to lift them up, but I'm also the person who could lift somebody up and then be like, wait, should I be doing more? Should I be doing this better? Should I not do anything at all until I'm better at it? Like, I'm also that person too. I could get heady. So I'm like, So like a couple of years ago, probably even more now, I stopped scrolling social media. It was like the best thing I could do for my mental, emotional health. It was also one of the best things I could do for my business. Keeps me focused. It's a time suck when you're scrolling and where you're comparing and when you do all, like, just stop doing it. I unfollow people all the time. I unfriend people. Like, if it doesn't make me feel good, if it doesn't bring me joy, if it's not inspiring, I'm just not interested in it. I'm really not. I'm not interested in it. And it's not like, it's not because I lack compassion. Like I'm really super compassionate. And I think maybe that's part of it because I'm so compassionate. Even when I see other people's stories, like, unless they're reaching out to me directly, like my heart like breaks for them, And I'm like, okay, no, I can't go through that one after another after another. It's the same reason why I'm not interested in watching the news. Um, I just can't. I want to keep myself and my spirit in a certain place. There's plenty of people going in that direction. There's plenty. I'd like to be more of a light in the crowd. I'd like to be the one who stands out and is not all involved in that. so I can keep my head and my emotions and all that, in more disciplined. Maybe that's the word. I want to be more disciplined about it. Um, so I'm very focused on self discipline. I Now let's get to efficiency. I run my day very efficiently. Okay, so I answer texts when I answer texts. I don't answer them as they come in unless I can in that moment and you catch me in a weird time that I can answer it. Otherwise, I take the text, I answer them all at once. I also send out texts all at once. That's it. All done. That's it. When I answer emails, I'm doing email. That's it. When I'm doing my recording on my YouTube or whatever, that's all that I'm doing. My editing, that's all that I'm doing. When I'm working on things in my other company, which is all around the same realm, when I work on that and I'm coaching, that's all that I'm doing. So I am really, really efficient. I stop every day pretty much around the same time. If I'm tired, I don't push through it. I don't use stimulants. I don't do all that. If I'm tired, I'm not doing my best work. I'm just not. So since I want to show this fulfilled, passionate life that I live, which I do live, then why am I going to do it when I'm like over the top, exhausted, that I can't even think straight anymore? And I have done it. Don't misunderstand. I have done it. In fact, I was on a call. I was doing, I have a mentorship program. So I was doing a mentoring call a couple weeks ago, and I was like, whoa, I could feel my eyes like burning and closing. And I'm like, I said, okay, guys, I'm done. Like, I'm not going to give you the best side of me anymore. I'm done. I'm finished. That's it. I got to go. I got to go. So, yeah. So anyway, so I stopped. Anyway, I also believe in going for the wins, and I do this with myself, and I'm going to suggest you guys do this too. So when we talk about like how you're going to measure your day, I believe in measuring your day from success to success, and living your life and building your success from vacation to vacation. Okay, so this is a philosophy that I have followed for several years, and one that I continue to follow, and what I teach and mentor about. So let's talk about going for the wins every day. Like when you go to bed at night and you're like kind of rehashing your day, tell me, don't you feel amazing when you felt like, okay, I was really productive, like I had a good day, I was really, really productive? That is when you're going to feel your best, right? So I know that. I know that's how I'm going to feel my best, is when I'm productive. Like busyness does jack to me for me. Like it's like I need to feel productive, and I could be productive in an hour. If I worked in an hour and that's it for the entire day, but it was super productive, I feel great. So I feel very much about going for the wins, and like, what are the check marks for your wins? So for me, exercise is a check mark for a win for me. Drinking enough water is a check mark for win. I'm very focused on like eating. I eat very whole foods, plant-based, all that stuff. So knowing that I've gone through a day that's very like clean and feels good, whatever, that's a win for me. When I return the text messages that I've needed to return, that's a win for me. When I've done some sort of outward activity for my company, some sort of action-oriented activity that I have, because I have a list of priorities, of course, that I have for every day. When I start checking those off, those are wins for me. So I don't look at like, oh, but I didn't get this done. In fact, I don't even use the word but, because the word but sucks. So but sucks. Okay, forget I said that. That's terrible. No, don't use the word but. As soon as you say but, it's like a screeching halt to your momentum, any momentum you may have had. So just stop it. It's a mind mess. It's like an instant mind mess. Okay. Um, so I don't look at anything that I didn't get done. I go for the wins. What are all the things I got accomplished? Okay, great. And then whatever I didn't do carries over to the next day. Okay, this is what I'm going to do first. This is the order I'm going to do it in, and that's it. Now, when I'm done texting, sometimes I'll have, response text come in. And if I can answer them, then I do. And if it's past my time, like I'm cut off, then it's done. I'll get to it the next time I'm on text. And I do that purposely. Otherwise, you could get sucked in, just like you get sucked into social media, like scrolling. You get sucked into text, you get sucked into the phone, you get sucked into all these different things, and then you lack discipline and you don't know how to get out. You don't know how to get out. The next thing you know, you didn't get anything done. You don't feel productive. You're beating yourself up. Is this business for me? This is too hard. Young Living doesn't ship things out on time. This is this and this. You get into like the blame game. You get into all that stuff, right? You get into all that mind mess nonsense. So prevent the mind, discipline to prevent that mind mess. So you have to me, I do, my type of personality, which I know some of you are out there, I have to run my day in a certain way to know that I am productive, to know that I've run efficiently and that I've, gotten things done so that I feel accomplished in anything by the end of the day, that I feel really accomplished, that I did that. And then I could go into my next day with a really clear head. And that's how I run it. Now, you're hearing about my days and the time that I'm working. If you're building a Young Living business, a career, a company, I consider it a company, you're building your own company, show up. For goodness sake, like you got to show up to work. You can't show up like one time on, Tuesday, and then I'll do it again, January 16th. Whoa, what are you doing? It's not how you run a company. You got to show up. You have to make time that you're going to be able to work into your business every day, at least 5 days a week. Even if it's for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, make them really efficient hours, whatever you have to do. Like I said, and for those who have missed it in the beginning, I've always worked full time outside of Young Living. I've never done Young Living full time. Had I done Young Living full time, I probably would have grown even quicker, which would have been great. But I was never looking to get out of my career. I love my career. I love what I do. I still do what I do. Okay. But with that, again, I was able to build up and build to diamond and crown diamond and all that working around my career. I just have to do it efficiently and I have to do it consistently. I can't do it one day here and 1 month there and whatever. You just can't do it like that. You're just not going to be successful. So can you do something part-time? Yeah, you could do it part-time, but part-time doesn't mean every once in a while. Part-time means giving partial time, which is what that means, partial time every day to this other endeavor. That's what it means, okay? So you must give partial time every day. So if you haven't been using, you haven't been doing it part-time, then or giving partial time every day, then you're really not doing anything. You're not doing much. It's more hobby and you're going to get hobby results and it's going to be ridiculously frustrating and you're going to think it doesn't work and you're going to think Young Living doesn't work and you're going to think this and that and you're going to start blaming and all that. That's just the wrong path to go down. And going back to the quote, if you do what you've always done, you'll get what you've always gotten. That's what's going to happen. So you want to avoid doing that. Last thing I'm going to put out to you, I have a big belief in living the and life, what I call living the and life. If you go on my YouTube, you'll see I made a video about it. I used to live in a world, especially when I had like no money and everything was hard and whatever. I used to think I could either do this or do that. And I can't wait for the day where I could do that instead of doing this. And over time, what I learned and the more successful I had become, I learned that you live an and life, that you really can have it all, that you could have this great bank account and you could have whatever, maybe material stuff you wanted, you could have the vacations and you could give to charity and you could do all this other altruistic stuff and you could be there for your kids and have the time for this and the time for that. You could do it all. You could live the and life, but you must get disciplined in doing it. And I think sometimes as leaders, we sugarcoat it a little too much because we don't want you to be scared off and go away. And I'm just not that person who does it. So, I'm the one that's like, listen, you want to do this? This is what it's going to look like and what it's going to feel like. And I hope you do it 10,000 times better than me and come back and tell me I was wrong and you did it easier than that. I'm not saying it's hard. It's not hard. It's you must be consistent in what you're doing. That's what I have found. That has been my experience. I think every diamond would tell you the same thing. You must have consistent activity. And again, if you're going to put something at the forefront of what you do, let it be whatever your purpose is, what your message. For me, it's to practice extreme kindness. That is my purpose. I just want to be extremely kind, and I believe fulfilled people live more passionate lives. And I want to help people be more fulfilled. I want to be the person who listens to them, who gets them to smile, who gets them to laugh, who gets them to see that there is another side and maybe it's not the end of the world and this too shall pass and all that stuff. It brings them hope, brings them peace of mind. Those are my goals. And then, you know what? I think you all need some oils also. I think you could really use these products. Anyway, thank you again. I'm going to allow Leon, I'll shut up now, allow Leon to come back on. And I appreciate you all taking time to listen to me and listen to this. And I hope that, I certainly hope it resonated with some of you, if not all of you, some pieces of it. So thank you. Thank you very much.